Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Sean Bond. We're going deep into Disclosure Day out there. Welcome to the Humankind Center, and please do support the project with downloading the app and subscribing so you don't miss an episode. Every Tuesday around 5 p.m. Eastern and Arizona time too. So, yeah, we're gonna go deep in this movie and the disclosure in it, as well as do readings for people on helping them connect to their ET soul family. So feel free to, uh, you know, write a comment, ask a question, let us know what's going on as we get everything set up and the audience starts showing up. So yeah, and okay. So with this movie, is it okay if I like share screens? I guess we can go into like, I got some things in where I can just show like the trailer without audio.
Yeah, is there a share screen button on there or something?
Yeah, sure. I'll get you. Get that up. Thanks, guys. Disclosure day. All right. So we got this trailer. And, is it showing? I'm just wondering.
Yes, it is.
All right. So okay. So here's some stuff from it. We can break down. So yeah, these are the two main characters. They were abducted at a early age as kids. They're shown, and uh, this is one of the anchor lady as a child. She starts to remember a vision when things play out later of getting visited at night by animals in her bedroom, which is an interesting concept that has been talked about in the abductee and visited ET contactee circles. So this goes into hey, what's going on here? Are they're essentially ETs? Greys are the main ET race that are being shown in this one. And there's a bunch of different things on grays I can talk about, so I'll go into that in a bit. But they're essentially shape shifting as animals, so they present themselves in a form that doesn't disturb or put the kids or the visitees in fear, which happens a lot, is talked about a lot, is gone into where the there'll be screen memories and perception filters on the person that's like being hypnotized. It's kind of like a thing where they perceive something different. And this has been confirmed by a hypnotist where there's like a story, for instance, where there is a guy that brings two people on stage that's a hypnotist. He hypnotizes one, has one guy sit in a chair and the other guy you know away from him, and he takes an object and puts it behind the back of the person. And it's a watch, uh, and he hypnotizes the guy to see that he hypnotized the main guy to think the guy right in front of him is invisible. He can't see him, and he puts the watch behind him and asks him what's the object, and he can see it. He guesses the watch. So he can't see the person, he can see right through them. So this is like a concept of shifting around the very concept of perceived matter as matters like 99% empty space. We perceive 0.000, a lot of zeros, 0.5% of all that's existing in any given space. And so there's all these layers of reality and these beings that we can't even interact with, touch, feel, sense, smell, all the things. And so there's a bandwidths of reality, and certain beings interdimensionally travel between these and can uh, interact and communicate. So there's a greater awareness psionically of the brain, perception, sight, psionics that has been developed by certain races that go into this and cause screen memories or it's like amnesia barriers, memory theft, memory destruction, which is wiping, various techniques. So, yeah, that totally, whatever you want to say about Steven Spielberg or all this. This movie is mostly for the masses. It's not. You're not gonna learn anything deep if you're like a new, like if you've been in this understanding for a while and you learn a lot. You're not gonna learn much. So I'm happy that this is used to help awaken masses. There are some propaganda and some manipulation on disclosure towards control of it, but whatever, like more content made, that can help uplift people, I'm fine with. So, projecting as animals, so it's like a fox, deer, a raccoon. There's also a bird that shows up, and like with the bird thing, that one's a little weird because like, what is they're a little ET? Like, is that a full-grown ET? And it's just like a bird. Like, how's it landing on the antler of the deer? So there's a lot of like, okay, but that goes into also the phenomenon of animals being influenced in people's lives, especially if they're contactees and stuff, and or target individuals, or something's going on in their awakening, and there's weird animals that show up and influence. And that goes into an interesting subject where that's not just ETs, but like more into higher dimensionals, multidimensionals, spirits, uh, elementals, fae, all kinds of interesting concepts of contact that can happen besides uh, ETs that will have the ability to influence animals. Though ETs do have the ability to influence animals, and so depending on what they're using them for, they will, if it's to cause an effect. Mine, the ones that ETs have used animals for me or other beings, I more get other beings than ETs sending them, to be honest. And the ones that do, they give me a message because they use it as a communication system to get my attention. And that can be used, but some movies portray it in a fearful way. So I haven't experienced that personally, though. You can go into like some people it being a horror show if they get highly targeted, which doesn't always make super amount of sense unless like it's going into the dark races like the Draco and certain races that feed off fear and like a greater system that's trying to steal abilities and stuff. So here's this woman that essentially a bird comes into her house and through a window and lands on her table and just looks right at them and is all like awesome. It's like in a cute little experience, and she like kind of goes into a trance as if she's getting activated with interesting abilities. A whole bunch of dormant stuff from her previous visitations get active essentially, and she rushes to go to work as a news broadcaster. Gets stopped by the cops, and she starts reading them by looking at them, knowing everything about them. And she says, "Oh, you're just angry from this and that, and it's okay. You love your son." And it goes into the knowingness ability, which is beautiful. I like that is covered by being able to read people and know their life story, and that's kind of like overpowered ability to be demonstrating because people, and it even goes in that where like she demonstrates her ability to a bunch of people that she meets, and one gets on their knees and kind of like prays, and she doesn't want to be worshipped. She says, I don't want to be worshipped. And it's like, okay, that's a little, nod to mystics and prophets and oracles and stuff. And some of that can be granted by ETs, so there'll be some type of soul family in body or spirit helping to turn on activation abilities, and that's also what this show is going into, activating abilities, and then turning on online more with people, and then those people affecting the timeline better and causing disclosure. So I think some religious people are upset about this, mostly because they're especially if they're in the belief that all aliens are either angels or demons or something. And this movie is kind of making the Greys look good. So of course they would be like, "Oh, this is demonic. This is programming." So sometimes you can say that if you want. That's more in a boxed frame of reality, though. And there are some religious downplaying. So, like, they say this will shake religious people. It wasn't that bad, like compared to what I've seen in Hollywood. So, I've seen some worse things that they put. And feel free to ask questions, and we'll go into reading people and their alien soul family and what they want, their missions, why they're here. Anything else you want to go into? So when she does that knowingness trick of reading the cop just lets her go, and like is like dumbfounded, and she just goes off. Now she's going to record, and then she like spazzes out, and then starts speaking this clicking language right here, and then faints like she just got a jab injury. Um, so yeah, that, and the clicking noise, people like to advertise that before as like it was the mantids, but it's just being displayed as this gray language. So whatever. It's interesting. It's a little triggering. This guy is a little bit playing the NPC that's trapped in the matrix, self-defeating, thinks she's crazy. Even they're dating. It's like, why would you? You're just wanting, man. I don't know. It's like she's gonna like leave him. Like that's that's kind of that's and he's the other guy that got abducted as a child, and they know each other, so I'm sure maybe they'll come together or something. But I doubt there's sequels. And there might be sequels, but Hollywood doesn't usually just make the same cast over and over again. All right, so let's see here. This guy is the remote influencer. He's like some military project. There's some cool concepts for disclosure on the remote influencing, which I've seen in some shows before, like Welcome to Derry, the It series, which is kind of cool. So there's that, and yeah, though this scene here is really not that good. It didn't make much sense. Oh God. So this other woman, she calls him and tells him, with knowing this, they're gonna come kill you. Get out of there. And yeah, right here, and they're coming. The way they find out about them is through remote influencing, which may have a scene later. We can look at that. And so he walks from the field all the way to the house while they're like coming in cars and going. So all they had to do was turn around; they could see him. So it was that was a little dumb. And also, he gets in the car and he takes off, and he's as if he's gonna hit the people. It's like he doesn't seem like he'd be willing to kill anyone. Also, he hits a tree, which is stupid, and then he busts through the house with a car. and then saves her, like right here, and it's like okay, and then busts through, which is kind of cool, that one, but um, okay, so I don't know if they're gonna show that scene, and maybe not. Okay, so I'll have to go to another trailer in a second. Yeah, okay, so I'll just cover this trailer and then I'll go back to that. Uh, so they also, so I'm jumping all around because it's a trailer, but let's see here. The end is kind of cool. It's they disclose a whole bunch of leaked videos from the military of that one guy that got abducted got out and leaked, and they tried to shut it down, and now they're posting it. So it's like it brings to the masses the concept of, oh, what if the mainstream media all at once start disclosing alien stuff, which could happen if they all agree to it. Though, why would they unless it benefits them? So it'd have to be a controlled narrative, and they'd have to like be going along with something bigger because they've been suppressing it the whole time, and I don't hold my breath with them. They're very controlled, but and yeah, they got something handling them, so it's not like it's acting like it just like, oh, finally they got alien footage and it's real. Now people do go into like this religious thing with uh, the nuns in this, which it's not the worst. The thing that would be insulting to Christians is when the influencer guy influenced her. She's like clutching the cross to like try to like stop it and like call for help, and it didn't work, and she ends up dropping it and bleeding. So that was a little, and this that nun was like accepting of aliens, which might be not as common, but is it's smart. It's you want to be like, why would God's experiment just be here on this planet when there's a vast universe? Why would it stay? It doesn't. Religion doesn't need to be really that affected by new alien races. It's gonna continue doing its thing. It does things. It's being advanced spiritually grows you. Like certain ET races believe in source and like higher powers and higher dimensionals and all that, and management. So it's not. It's just different interpretations of things. So you know, and she gained this ability to like cause the person viewing her to see something else. And so she influences the remote influencer guy to see his dead wife, and then get them to let them go, and that like shooks them. And there's that cardinal that shows up to her later on to activate her abilities. So that seems to be also a programming thing that initiates the encompassment of this altar, of seeing that like red cardinal and it triggering the same memory later on, which is a cool like little tactic they do for unlocking, activating altars and locking them away, which is interesting. But like, I don't, how would that be a real ET unless they're like projecting an entirely different space as a small thing above, on top of another ET? Okay, but unless it's either not actually there or an influenced animal, which is also a possibility. It's just I don't think they'll ever answer that because this is a movie. It doesn't matter. And then this is another triggering thing, which I've talked about, and I've talked about for years. I used to get visited by extra-dimensional witches as a kid over and over again, and I still do. Dreams about the place, and there'd be cabins in the wood kind of thing. And this is going into that. This is referencing Hansel and Gretel for some reason, even though that's kind of a there's a evil witch pretending to be good one, and it being candy. So I don't know why they'd use that reference unless they were like doing a little, yeah. If they actually wanted to make Greys look good or not, I don't know what they're doing, but whatever. And then the animals take them to that, which is essentially then taking them to a ship and then putting them on medical table, which is, like screen memory, get them all night nice and calm and not having to be freaked out. I don't know why they're referencing the crayons as other people. It's like everyone's got a basket of crayons when they're a kid. This guy, I don't know. He just knows so much. I don't know why they're using that. He's like, he used to be in the secret projects or something, and he knows all these things about them and her, and he sets up this fake house version of her childhood house to help her remember. So that they just glossed over it. It's like, whatever, okay. Um, and then they both like get triggered and as kids, and you remember each other, and getting abilities given to them by these interesting devices, and each one of these little obelisk dildo things come off, and it has they would use that, and the remote influencer guy would use it to influence a bunch of others too. Thanks for coming, Casey. Feel free to ask questions. Hi in the comments. And yeah, just I guess this is activating their abilities. It makes their pupils glow, and they're activating him to understand the language instantly of ETs. He understands the clicking noise she makes, and translate it as English. He can talk to the ETs. She is told that she is so she can connect to everyone else that's human. So they like a bridge of translation. Yeah. Here's him getting backlash for remote influencing. So he puts on this equipment. He holds the alien phallus and the little alien device, and it amplifies his remote influencing and remote viewing capability. Yeah, they're not showing it here. I will go into that, I guess, in the other trailer. I'm going to bring that up in a second. They show all these, here's her holding the phallus and turning this whole group invisible, and the house invisible to get away from the secret government people. Yeah, all these ET footages that they're showing. And yeah, the deer eye being very close to the alien type eye, which is an interesting way of putting that. And that's the gray. Yeah. Let's see here. Is there another one I can bring up? Yeah, I can just probably do this one. Okay. Hopefully they have more scenes in this. Okay. So yeah, she's a nun. This is that government agency. They're tracking them. She's kind of also indoctrinated, influenced. Crop circle is cool. This crop circle design shows up on the alien phallus devices, so it might be a symbol of their race or something. Yeah, they're clicking. I get it. All right, let's see if there's a scene that's different. Yes, here it is. All right. So she is getting remote influenced quite a lot in this movie. She's the controlled subject, I guess. He's not actually there. He shows up remote influencing and interrogates her and kind of like pulls her like puppets on a puppet on strings kind of round, and influences her thoughts. Just essentially, he's over here, hooked up to this chair, sees a photo of her, holds the alien phallus and a device, and it amplifies his abilities, which, it makes sense with the projects. I mostly see chairs and these cool helmets that these remote influencers use, to be honest. But yeah, there are devices. There's all kinds of interesting alien devices that are being depicted with the alien artifacts. So totally, and things that you can hold that amplify your abilities and vision and remote influencing stuff. These devices do. they'll be holding these pine cones that essentially amplify your ability to see, and these cool alien language touchpads and ways to scan if like you're worthy of interacting with it further. But you know, they're depicting this in an interesting way. And he goes to her, sits her down. He's not there, but now he's there. He asks her a bunch of questions, and you know, as I've been involved in this as well as remote influenced and learn how to counter it, they will ask you questions in your mind. You might not even know that they're there, to be honest. I don't like this is more of like a overpowered force being there, like she's not in control. The reason they don't like to just do that is because it's not you they're not like completely a puppet on strings. Usually most remote influencers lose most of their abilities early, and they have to vampire off of other people's abilities because evil doesn't earn, they steal. And so when you're harming people, you lose authority. And so they gotta use different amplifiers and stealing things to get the ability. So it's less powerful. And when they do this type of thing, if you're being influenced and you know something's influencing you, you combat it, you fight back, you don't want to, you block out your mind. I usually will find, unless they're just straight on attacking you, they'll just influence the thought into your head of something that makes you answer the question automatically. Like, oh, this thought in your head. Like, I used to get a lot like, who am I? Uh, like, who are you? Kind of like coming in my head over and over again, trying to get me to answer it. And it's like, why the fuck would I'm sorry. Why would I ask that question myself constantly over and over again? I know who I am. I don't need to like keep thinking about that. And then I would track it back because they would try to get me to answer that in some revealing information way, and like get more data mining questions too that were a lot to certain things I was doing in my awakening. I'm getting more intel and making a better chess move on the planet. So I track that back, I learn how to counter it, stop it, all that, and then some in the beginning they'd get more aggressive, and I'd get overwhelmed. So it was awful, and then you know eventually learn to counter it. And it was annoying. Then learn how to stop it before the new guys would just keep coming. Yeah, so there's that. But this guy, he's like coming in very invasive, just asking questions. She's forced to answer it. Shaking, doesn't like him, and eventually he just entered. And like the more of a remote influencer you do, the more in depth you be with being them, and that's why a lot of remote viewers don't like doing that. It's controlled remote viewing they like, not attached, because it overwhelms the person. They get their emotion, you kind of get their thoughts. It's dirty energy sharing, all kinds of stuff. So you gotta know a bunch of other abilities to make it so that it's not harmful to them. And if they're doing harm, then they deserve that harm anyway. So whatever. So suffering in that. So she's doing exactly what he does, and then he influences her to pick up a knife and get like if he goes too far, you got to kill him. The guy that she's with that is also the abductee. She's able to hold it back, like when he picks her up in the car, because he data mined her to get their data on this. And how he did it was, where are you? And then she didn't know, and so he's like, okay, what's the last gas station you went to, and what's the street signs you remember? And he starts getting that data and then narrowing down the search and getting their house, which is totally how you do it. Very good disclosure on that. And then he tells her to pick up a knife and then hold it, and then the guy crashes through the house with the car, and then picks her up, and she's in the back struggling to not stab him with a knife, and he looks back and like, oh no, as if he knows like you're being influenced or something. I don't know. That didn't really mention it. I don't exactly know the extent of the guy's powers. And then she stops, and instead of stabbing him, she stabs herself in the hand, and that causes the remote influencer guy pain, which makes sense because you do share the sensory organ data, and you can backlash harm back to the remote influencer, which totally real. So that's good that they disclose that. All right, so there's that kind of thing. I don't know if there's more here. Yeah, him in this chair, which goes in that pupils dilating. That's the warehouse they show up to. The house is invisible. They try to shut down the studio before they project then. This is a kind of cool scene. The train, being pushed in the train, and it pulling it forward, and then they gotta, it doesn't do anything, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, and then they they take the invisible phallus thing object and then make the truck invisible, and then that's them going off in that. So whatever. Uh, and then more of those. So there's that. Okay, so yeah, feel free to guys if you want to ask some questions going into connecting your ET soul family. It's free this time, so get it while you can. I'll also go into some of the other concepts that are being brought up for disclosure, like the birds thing was an interesting concept, which is being expressed in this movie that goes a little bit more of a horror scene. It's called Dark Skies. This movie, it's like abductees seem to have weird like interactions with birds and animals showing up again and again. Uh, they'll just like fly, like they're just saying they'll fly into your window and die. It's whatever. They don't. They're they're not under their own free will, which is it's a pretty good movie if you want to trigger uh, fear that you've been holding on to, having to do with alien abductions, which it's like the movie Birds. But so I don't recommend triggering fear if you can't transmute it and resolve it. If you can, I do recommend that because then you can get rid of it and you can prevent abductions. You can um, resolve blocks. You can feel into, okay, why am I getting triggered with fear? Because it's not just come out of nowhere. If you get fear having to do abduction movies and like the lifting up by the phase lock that like levitates you up into the ship, the being on the table, those triggers, they don't just come out of nowhere. That's not like passed down our DNA from ancestry. Well, sometimes it is, but it doesn't really last. So that usually that would go with you being experiencing something and you forgetting about it, and so it's a good way to trigger it. Now, again, if you want to clear fear, hold your kidneys and give them love, and transmute them and shrink down those balls. But you'll want to like practice that slowly is if you get better at it, and you can turn it into defense stuff as well. Okay, thanks for coming in, Blue Jardin. If possible, I would like to know more about my soul family and Orion Empire. Yes, yes. Let's go into that, and I'll cover more of the things later after a bit. Okay, I'm going to tune into you, and yeah, feel free to ask questions, guys. Thanks for coming in. Okay, soul family, Orion Empire. Hmm. Hmm. From what? Okay. All right. So there's a lot going on around. I like create the the thing to that. And I'm also going to go into the grays in a second, and go more into the disclosure thing. But I'll start with questions. Get everyone engaged. So, yeah, there's big wars. The Ryan War is well known about, but like not much into, because it's a long time. So it's like individual battles and things like that. So it's like getting a little broad stroke most of the time for people. A lot of races interact there. Why? Because it's one of the key places in the galaxy. Besides the center of the galaxy that has this big stargate that connects to most places throughout the galaxy and also other galaxies, the biggest other stargate known about that does many places is also in Orion. It's around the nebula. And there's a whole war over that too. There's races from other galaxies coming. You have connection to that as well as the Nordic humanoid races. You honestly have an incarnation in most of the races in Orion. It seems you have a big higher dimensional self branching off into many of the games to manage it, but you got more so in the humanoid Nordics and some race from another galaxy that connects through that Stargate. That I think protects it a little bit. And I've come across this race before, but it's not really easy to just describe it. So it does look like you have a high dimensional, eighth dimensional self that exists in some of the stars in the constellations and more so in the nebula. Okay. And some in the Orion's belt. So, yeah. Soul family would be technically all the races, though more the ones you connect more with, like this one from another galaxy, has high advanced technology, weaponry, ships, time travel, advanced intelligence, libraries of knowledge from a whole nother galaxy. So it's an ancient race, and there's branching out into this galaxy, which it seems you have one aspect of your branching incarnational process. That other galaxy is part of it. And there's timeline wars of hairballs over this place to dominate it, and it's constantly the dark side's trying to take control, and then sometimes that gets created and comes back, all that. So what its current state is kind of crazy to look at because the timeline wars make it complicated. But there's a reptoid Orion Empire that's trying to dominate it, and then other galaxies trying to bleed over that are dark, and sometimes in the timeline they successfully bleed it over. Sometimes that's been stopped. What its current state is, I'm not reading it as much of as a problem right now, but there are still deep things because there are other gates that these other galaxies come through, and they're trying to then send their forces over there and then take that back. So then it's an easier backdoor again, and that can constantly be whatever. So people need to help that. Okay, Rhine Empire. So when you say empire, most people that talk about the Rhine Empire, they talk about the dark reptoids. So soul family with that, is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about one of the races? Feel free to bring more context to what I'm talking about, because there are multiple, and it's a big place. Not all the stars, we look at it, it's like the stars are close, but when you change the angle of it, the stars aren't that close. They're closer than other things, but when you say soul family, are you referring to stars? Sure. And if you want to talk about regular soul family on Earth, fine. I'll answer questions with regardless. But this is a disclosure show, so Yeah, we'll be talking about star family. And looking to contact with my galactic family, Linda. Yeah, let's go into that. I'll tune into one for you as an example. Who wants to contact you? Yeah, feel free. Anyone else wants to know this? Mhm. Syrian. Oh, cool. Really? Just literally that? Okay, so it's interesting. I don't. Yeah, they're triggering towards it. I don't usually like to talk about races that are disclosed in movies uh, because it's hard for people to believe the concept and that. But like to be honest, like the grays are being more so. It's like whatever. So there's you have a race that contact you for various reasons at various times that really wants to connect with you. Um, you got higher dimensional versions of them. Okay, that so it's a version of you, seventh dimensional. So it's not okay. So this race, I don't see them contacting people that much because only certain factions of them are spacefaring, and a lot of them are high spiritual and just like um, ascending on their planet, and they're not like going places. So it's the species has to do with Syrian cluster of blue. It's in the Avatar movies, like cat people. They're not exactly the same, but it's interesting that they tried disclosing that one in that one. One of the highest grossing movies ever. So interesting how that resonated with so many people. Um, so you got a higher dimensional one of that species contacting you. Why? Uh, it's very unselfish too. That's nice. They want to help you. There's certain abilities that you have dormant that can be turned on with their help. They're ask permission. Light beings don't do things against your free will. And what's this? A lot of spiritual senses, telepathy, connecting with nature, in its network of information, knowingness, supplying, fueling, turning on generators, libraries of knowledge, third eye stuff. They don't have all the same stuff disclosed in the movie, though. I would say a lot of differences. Mm, what's this other one? This is a remembering thing they want to spur, so that you remember more of your lives, and then you can connect. And there's things to do, but they're not really asking for anything for themselves. They want to get you up to a higher level, and then you can help them, though. That's nice of them. And one, it's giving you a chain of telepathy that you can practice with as a partner, of like short messages, and then incrementally getting more information out of it in response as you play with it. You can open up the messages anytime you want, and I can teach you telepathy later if you want. We could practice, and then you get the ball rolling, and then you have it. They're sending you a bunch of abilities, gifts. Yeah, very generous. That's nice. And they want to integrate with you from the heart and the solar plexus soul to integrate soul parts. And then it makes it easier to turn on abilities. Are they talking about missions? No, I'm going to ask them about that. They're just giving you a bunch of stuff. That's nice. Okay. They're they find contacting humans, this race, is not super successful. There's weird stuff with the movie, which people connect to them, but they don't engage in conversation because they really don't think they're real in any regard. So it's kind of like a screen over kind of thing. I kind of deal with this. Like people can't really find me that easily publicly unless they search hard enough. You'll just get the Sean Connery James Bond stuff when you look me up. So it's kind of like that. So they're not wanting to rock the boat. They want to give you a bunch of stuff, and then when you're ready, um, feel supported and wanting to connect with them more. Okay, come on, give me something in that though. Uh, okay, now they're not going into their mission with you here. They're wanting to help you amplify your ability to see and connect and communicate and be supported and loved by them, and then going into their planet and all the resources of the planetary consciousness, uh, your management as seventh dimensional, and what was eight, six, seven, eighth dimensional, and shining that light into your body through your heart to upgrade you. They're not going through the DNA, they're going more spiritual. That's interesting. Being oracled to planets? That's nice. So that is right with the. Okay. And like what you came here to do inwardly, they're more orienting in you. It's like the increasing your frequency dimensionally, evolving, growing, ascending, love. Gaining a new level of love. It goes along in the territory of increasing your frequency, vibration, and all of that fuels everything turning online at a greater rate. So they're going into that, and you can focus on that as intention. They want it to grow based on you getting your full intention and will with the line focus strengthened, and then everything easier. So they don't make things complicated. They just say cultivate it with each as an ability. Interesting. Okay, so I hope that helps. Now, lovely. Okay, yeah, and we're going through. So I'm interested in so Danny Hawk, thanks for coming again. I'm interested in my galactic family as well. Also, am I connected to the Incans or Aztecs? Let's talk about it. I see at least 7 lives in the Aztec format and a bunch of things in Mexico besides that, and there's way more, civilizations. There's at least 4 Mayans. I'm not seeing as much the Olmec, Toltec, 2 at least. So don't let any of this limit you. And there's a whole bunch. There's like 20 plus other civilizations that exist there. At least 3 others you're in. Not at the moment able to see the Incas for you, but don't let that stop you. Maybe it's something big in camouflage you can look into later. Okay, what's coming up? It's kind of. I'm trying to make this ET. Okay, well, I guess. Uh huh. Okay. So I guess whatever. So here's a cool concept for you. Okay, so and I'll show some of the ET artifacts. I don't know when we're going to stop the show. So a big dragon came into my mind that represents you as a version of the Quetzalcoatl species, which is a species that has sister. There's more than just them, and they're multiple depicted. And this one has an ET face in it, so there's like it's beyond just a dragon type thing. More going on with it. More going on with the feathered serpent than being able to shapeshift in human form or ET form and other stuff, and being like lords of the sky on these like alien artifact like staff and stuff with avian people, reptoid people, and other stuff. So that's being depicted. Got a lot of that kind of stuff, and there's like different types of long skull type beings being depicted. And like if you come to the UK event, I'll have certain artifacts we can show you. There's type of grays being depicted as well in Mesoamerica. You have a version of yourself in the species of Quetzalcoatl and wants to talk to you. So that's cool. Do recommend it. Here's a little different type of gray dwarf thing that I've also seen big crystal skulls of this type of species, which is interesting. Okay, so that's cool. I've seen a few of them. Quetzalcoatl's portal is a place I'd recommend going if you want to do anything with that, as it has a portal to one of the realms that has a bunch of your soul family in it. Powerful dragons, the feathered serpent variety, and okay, let's see here. Sorry, and you can connect with them. You can help them. They're very powerful, big spatial being there. That's the portal. Sometimes I take people, so feel free to contact me if you ever want to go and trip in Corey to the Mexican trips. And they're overpowered beings, high dimensional. They can branch down to 3D, and there's so much to say about them, to be honest. So that one wants to integrate with you, wants to trade, and wants to talk. Big missions into planet training you in a body as a version of itself, planetary management, resolving its species. There's fertility blocks and curses on finding each other for a lot of the dragon species, restoring things, restoring realms, resolving wounds, all kinds of stuff blocking them. So much to go into with that. Okay, so Casey, can you say any more on the baskets of eggs and gifts given from my last read? Any soul family stuff would be cool too. Sure. I mean, that's a symbolism they gave me. In translation for it, it's like spiritual upgrades, generators, and astral objects that you can turn on and use in exploring your mind, turning on things, control rooms, astral travel, doing astral work. And they mostly gave you stuff for turning on things internally and gaining power over the body. Uh, for more soul family stuff, it's a little hard to translate this. Okay. Uh huh. It's going into the Silpsiraya species of gray in the Council of Five. I want you to versions. Okay, you got their DNA when you're in the womb, taken by your mother, taken and while you're pregnant. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. I'm feeling. There's a lot of secret stuff they're not allowing me to see. So there's like they're pointing me in the avenue of talking about. Okay, one and okay, they got telepathic messages waiting for you to answer. They have a pathway visually they want you to walk down to kind of mentally visit them and then start talking to them if you want to make it easier. They got like a way for you to contact them easier. Um, they're visiting you a bunch, but I'm not allowed to see why or how because they're like they people have missions with certain ETs and they don't want their missions scanned to be thwarted. So what I'm gonna talk about is ooh, okay, what aspects? They've set up a internal Vision Quest mystery for school for you to give you the tools of what you need to open your mind, expand it, greater capability, knowledge, um, to do what you came here to do. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So I hope that helps. Alana, thanks for coming. John, did you see any faces? Oh yeah, with the gray. Let me, I guess, cover some of the gray stuff too. So there are 4,000 types of grays. Here's another alien artifact that has an avian type of thing with it, crystal skull. So people see that. It's pretty rare. It's like a horse-like being with a mermaid tail on him. And there are many genders, light, dark, and neutral, mostly neutral, and there's a war between the factions that are light and dark. So they kind of cancel each other out. There are also kind of constantly creating. The dark factions abusing a lot of time travel, manipulating their species, abducting, genetic augmentation. So if for this movie, it's deception, mind control, if because they're trying to get everyone to believe the Greys are all empathic, and to just accept them and see them as better than humans or whatever. Now, you should always be skeptical with Greys because you want to find out what faction they are, and what's their purpose, what they're doing with you, all that. So they're, like the Zetas, not I don't like them as much. And the Mitri, the Tall Greys, I don't like them. They're parasitic. I like the Murther. They've been really nice to me. I got soul family with them. The Solipsis Riot are nice. Some other factions. But you want to see what their purpose is. And stop them from abusing you if they are. So it probably opens up some people to more abduction or allowing it. So that's not great, but whatever. Sean, did you see any faces of species on the alien artifacts that match any of the ones in the books of Elena Danaan? And she got a lot of her material from the leaked alien species book of Russia. So a lot of the species of the Russian leaked by the KGB, yeah. The Shining Ones species, I've shown that off. The yellow artifact, a lot of these gray types are shown. I don't remember if the avians are in there. I don't know quite if this one might be found somewhere. I don't know. Well, a lot of the different gray types. Oh, and though it's not, again, it's the alien Russian species book, the cone heads. Though this is more of a gray kind of cone head, but we found some cool cone heads, like in that that movie people can watch. Also, an Arrival, the cephalopods. I don't know if that's Elena's not on the book, but there's these different type of cephalopod races that are being found. Reptoids, we're finding that. Yeah, a bunch of that kind of thing. I don't know, the dog people in that one, we found that, but yeah, a lot of Egyptian stuff. So, pretty cool artifact. Yeah, thank you. Is there a certain area? Is there a certain area in Mexico, like what that you've been or to go? Oh yeah, like well, it's Quetzalcoatl's portal. It's kind of near the south of Mexico City, if that's what you're talking about. Hi Sean, would you be able to tune into my ET contact and past lives lineage, please? Sure. Okay, let me tune in. And people got a bunch, so I'm bringing out what wants to contact you a bunch, and are coming forward a lot with strong energy. Okay. Uh-huh. And those are what? Ones and bodies, 3D, and that, yes. Okay. Interesting one. Are they humanoid ones? Okay, nice question. So you have, it's kind of like angels. It's a race that mainly centers in the center of the galaxy, source management, that's higher dimensionals, that touch down into 3D, that makes multiple body offshoots of themselves that interact with all the races of the galaxy in a form. So one, and it's very strong and coming in. And it's doing nudges on my head, making it tickling my head and nose and other things. They have angels in bodies. They'll it's so limiting what our beliefs are on them. So this does seems to know they seem to know you. Feminine frequency, loves you a lot. Very close soul family. Um, okay, yeah. Can you answer those questions? There's some camouflage stuff. Let me see if I'll go into what they want to talk about. Should I just translate this? I get okay. Hi there, and it's using in like translated English, my love. You will remember me. I have never stopped being with you. It's English translated as describing a state of being. It's kind of like omnipresent throughout the fields of plasma. Okay. We are doing important things together. Relaying. Okay, so it's showing me these tendrils of light as if they're at high intensity at the center of the galaxy and trying to bring that to places of darkness that it's hard for it to reach. And it's got a system set up with you and her and some others that are keeping the light stronger to reach deeper places of darkness at a greater intensity to change more. And you can increase the state of being incrementally as you gain awareness of it and make everything better for yourself and the world. Important work, what you're doing, not many people are doing it. And the position you're in is very advantageous and impactful. Showing me the earth shifting rapidly in like a image of all the unsolved puzzle being solved, kind of like a Rubik's Cube, and things flowing and turning on, and things felt by the consciousnesses evolving, growing faster. So that's the concept of what you're doing. And to please work with her more to accomplish this faster and faster, and so that your presence with her and this mission that you're doing is at a greater level. Let's see. So powerful work you're doing. So keep up the good work, and I hope. Yeah, feel free to contact me if you want to go more into that. I'd love to. That's powerful stuff. I want to go into how you could amplify that ability even more. And oof, I can't wait to see what you do when you unlock all that stuff. And she seems really nice energy. So let me know if you also get little nudges and tingles and sensations about it. Because ooh, I have a feeling it. And yeah, thank you for being here at this time with your uh, powerful service you're doing. Please do contact me. Let's do a consultation. You can reach me at the Sonic League at sonicleague.com services and then slash services. And let's set that up. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's change the time on. Let's speed everything up. Turn on your light, high level, embodied high technology species version angel kind of source code. I don't know. There's so many words. It's beyond when we're able to just easily define it. So not many people that it's willing to just go that highly into that you're connected to that angels and physical body races. But so you're at a big level with that, and it really wants to go into it. So looking forward to hearing from you. I see a lot of people around that spark a kind of nostalgia or interest, faded memory thing. Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people interesting mental effects of people walking around, right? How old are those artifacts? Like a lot of different ages for different things. The carbon dating on the adhesive between crystals and the areas of spot. These were found in Tula, and some are found in Waylas, and there are tens of thousands being found all around, and we're finding more places that we're finding them. It's some, depending how far down you dig, some like 3 feet down will be clay pots and statues and figurines, and those seem like we found different things in Maya, Olmec, Aztec, Toltec stuff. Now, it seems beyond that. So some have been carbonated as 1,000, some 10,000, some 18,000, some 19,000 years old. In Awalos, I've heard some of my friends say they've carbon dated around 30,000. So there's multiple civilizations built on each other and inheriting the same place of power, and they're building off of each other. What beings are closest to me at this time? Alana, think, okay, yeah, I'll answer that. I'll tune into. And what you mean closest to me at this time? Like, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like, if I'm gonna talk about that, it's probably gonna be some being that you're already interacting with. Do you want me to tune into something you don't know that much, or do you want me to? I don't think you want me to talk about something you already know, right? Um, but I'll adjust that to something new. Um, Okay, there's two mainly. Ma'at, the Egyptian goddess, wants to talk to you a bunch, and prevalently came through. And then I don't know this race fully, but you seem to be connected to them, have versions of yourself. soul family. They're kind of a bluish race, and they have come colonized during Lemuria, and so they have some races somewhere around the planet that are not letting me see now, and then some trapped in the continents that are teleporting and traveling through time. So they want help with you with that, want to get you activated, talking to them, giving you support and the abilities to complete a chess piece puzzle. Okay. So they also want your help. The ones that are here on the planet right now, finding things that they need. So you can practice your remote viewing, remote tracking, and telepathy. And if you want, we can talk about that too. There's a bunch of stuff they need to help their race and help the trapped ones, help empower their consciousness chess move to the of humanity to get an effect going that will then feedback loop to their species that supports them even more while supporting us. So some of them, that's cool. Oh, wow, Carl, thanks for asking. Right, very interesting. Yeah, right. My third eye opened up during that transmission. Yeah, I'm glad you like that. Oof. Yeah, they're some of these ETs are giving upgrades to everyone in the crowd. They're very generous and nice. It's one of the cool things about doing these telepathic connections. They're like, yeah, they're talking about us. Let's reward them, make them want to talk to us as much as possible. When they're like, make them feel good, and then they'll reach out and connect. It's, in that window opportunity. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, thank you, Carl. Do you know where the multiverse in the all? Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Uh, yeah, I talked to them about it. They don't know, so I'm like, okay, just give her another one. So if you're okay with that, I'll have them send you a different one of those. Influencing me. Okay. Yes, right. I feel like I moved into something new. Yep, that's good. What does my higher self want to communicate with me at this moment? Thanks. Um, they're wanting you to connect with the version of you in your heart that already knows the answer to most things that you'd ever ask, and you keep fueling in. So you have the answer to that. You've got to focus in the center of your heart and keep focusing there. A lot of things want to pull you away. The longer you can, all this light comes out, all this knowingness, the answer to your questions. And you can hold the questions in your heart and then they start getting answered too. But like breathe deeply while keep going deeper and deeper inward, and it will unfold greatly. Uh, so connect with them more. It wants to communicate with your higher self, wants to communicate with you. Cultivate it, build it, make it stronger. It's just like talk to me. Then uh, uh, besides wanting to talk to you. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's going to that. So, the physics of this higher self, the part of ourself that's in the whole environment, hilltop view, consciousness cloud that we're receiving data for, bring it in, integrate it into the body, pack it in, antenna of the bodies and the DNA receiving it, bring in more. There are methods to doing that, and like both increasing the frequency, the antenna, releasing blocks and attachments, freeing resolving the lower self to shrink down out of the space. More higher self can come in the body. Love, and especially if you go after the specific things that are trying to prevent more of our higher self from coming into the body and being received, there are specific heavinesses that you can feel into and resolve that represent that, and going after that specifically, and then feeling into it empathically, and then senses and data and vision coming along with it, and then giving it what it needs. Love can turn it into any ability, but so you start with love, but then it will get more data on it, and then like, okay, here's what's going on, here's what's on me, here's what's countering me, and then you make a counter to it. And that helps. So once you integrate more of it and talk to it, so it's like, pay attention to me. God, what a good question I asked about mermaids. Oh yeah, there's mermaids, a bunch of different stuff being depicted in mermaids. Like, this ship has some. In avian and dog people mermaids. It's got the ancient language on it, and ship, like the Buga ship, but much different. And then, there's all kinds of mermaids we're finding, many different species. So it seems they're making them for, different terrains like this one. So, yeah, ET. There are ET mermaids. There are ET. There's water filled ships, kind of thing. Cephalopods for aquafarians, for all kinds of things. Syrians, Palladians come across. So I hope that helps. How much more time do we have, by the way, for the show?
We're good.
Okay, cool. We can wrap up. Okay, so thank you guys for coming. Please spread this around. Subscribe to Humankind Center for more shows. Pay attention every Tuesday. We're going to do these shows. So around 2 Arizona time, 5 Eastern time. So be there and get some cool questions answered, and free readings. And let us know what you want to see. And please do also download the Humankind app. It's free, and you get updates, and you get all these videos and secret videos, and it's like a multi-streaming platform with conferences, crazy info you won't get anywhere else. So please do support. It shows us that you care, and get us past the censorship, builds a community that can go strongly. So hope everyone likes that. Feel free to see me at the Basis conference in a few days. So I'll be in the UK. So come on down. Let me know if you want hear or be a contactee in Alien Artifacts. sonicleague@gmail.com, and Trip Inquiry if you want to go to the Mexican trips or anything like that. And I'll add you to the list, and you'll get updates on it, and you don't have to sign up for anything for sure, and we see if it's right for you with a call. And I'm doing the memory course next month, so if you're interested in remembering, memory retrieval, memory psionics, releasing blocks in your memory, getting better memory, let me know. And you can message me at sonicleague@gmail.com. and reach me at sancleague.com/services or whatever. Consultation, healing, clearing, unlocking your dormant abilities, third eye, amplification, telepathy, contact ETs, SSP, whatever else, abundance amplification. We can go into all your dormant abilities. If you want a session, consultation, clearing, healing, anything, let us know. And look out for more shows where we're unlocking superhuman abilities. So see you guys soon. Hope you guys have a wonderful night.